All right, guys, we are starting our next phase of this little fish, which is we got to give him an aquarium or give him a little bowl to live in. So we're going to use a lot of the same tools that we used when we were creating the fish, but we're also going to learn some new ones such as offset stroke. We're going to learn the roughen and distort zigzag panel. And yeah, but besides that, we're kind of using everything we've already learned. So for this, you need to make some sort of tank. It doesn't have to be a bowl. You could do a square tank. You do need to make a water line. You need to make bubbles. You need to make some kind of plant, a sand or a substrate, and some sort of little accessory or little house for the fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my guy here and I'm going to shrink him. Just put him to the side so I can show you guys what I'm doing. I'm not starting with a color palette yet. You can come up with the color palette as you go. And oops, my guy's plants got big. I need to expand appearance so that when I size the plants down, there you go, the plants size with it. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to grab my ellipse tool, which I usually work in this workspace, but just a reminder, let's be in the Workspace Essentials Classic. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift and drag, make a little circle. And then what I want to do is I want to make a little kind of stand for the circle because otherwise this is going to roll around like a ball. So I'm going to grab my rounded rectangle, bring my cursor down to the bottom of this circle, kind of at the middle, and I'm going to hold down Alt, and holding down Alt will keep it centered as I drag out, and I'm just making a stand for the bowl. That looks good. And I can go ahead and grab both of these and go to Window, Pathfinder, which remember is what we use to merge shapes or kind of subtract from shapes. I want to merge these, so I'm going to click Unite. So it's one shape. And then I'm going to actually switch this because I want to be able to see kind of through this shape when I add my next one. But it should look like a, I don't know, like a, what are those? Like a seeing eyeball. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So let's create the top of the tank. I'm going to grab my rounded rectangle again. I'm going to go about towards kind of the top right here, hold down Alt and drag out. And this is going to be bigger than the bottom part. I'm going to make this, and then I'm going to grab it with my black arrow and drag it down so that it kind of sits even with the sides like that. Okay, see how that is? It can be a little higher if you want, but I don't want it sitting high up like this because this is like the edge of the glass on the top. Perfect. So we're now going to learn about something called the Shape Builder tool. So that is located where the paint bucket is. So if you right click there, you can find it. And what we're going to do is first with our black arrow, we're going to grab both these shapes. I'm going to click the Shape Builder tool and I'm going to hold down Alt, and you'll see my little cursor has like a little minus sign next to it. And I'm going to click this top part here. And it immediately deletes it. And I can now click my black arrow and get out of the Shape Builder. So Shape Builder is kind of a different way to subtract or add certain elements of shapes together. So here we go. This is the bowl. We need to just grab everything now and go up to our Pathfinder and unite it so that it's all one shape. Perfect. Here's my bowl. It's looking great. So now this is the outside of the bowl, but as with most glass containers, there's an inside as well. So I want to see that thickness. So to do that, we're going to click on the bowl. We're going to go to Object, Path, Offset Path. And if I click this, what it does is it, based on whatever offset you put, it will make another path that is kind of conformed to whatever your first path is. So we want this on the inside, so you need to have it negative something. I have mine as negative 0.2. You put it as whatever you want, whatever looks like realistic for a little fish bowl. I might make mine a little smaller. Let's see, I'm going to click preview. That's a little too thin. I don't like how thin that is. I like that. That's good. Let's have it set to round. If it's on knitter or bevel, it's a little too sharp for me. I want it as on round, and I'm gonna click OK. So now I have two paths. One's the outside of the glass, one's the inside of the glass. Awesome. So this inside of the glass is where we're going to do the draw inside panel. And we're going to kind of do our work, right? All the good stuff. So first things first, this is what we're going to do. I want us to click this outside glass, and we're going to go Object, Lock, Selection. What this means is I'm not going to accidentally move this outside glass. It's locked until I tell it not to be locked anymore. And we want it locked so that we can work and not worry about it. I'm going to make a copy of the inside glass. Move this aside for a second. And I'm going to click this inside part here. And I'm going to lower its opacity a little bit. And then I'm going to also lock this one. Perfect. And then I'm going to move the copy I made right back into place over the locked low opacity version. So again, we have these two areas are locked. I went to Object, Lock. I can also unlock them if I accidentally messed up. This copy of the inside of the glass, I'm going to move on top. And what we're going to do now is we are going to cut this and make a water line, because ideally this is where all the water is sitting. So to make it visually easier, I'm going to switch my fill and stroke, and let's make this like a blue color, just so that I can understand what I'm seeing. So this is the water, but of course the water doesn't go all the way to the top. We should have a little water line. So let's make the water line. I am going to grab a rectangle tool, and I'm going to drag a big rectangle right here. And I'm going to double click on my fill and change it to a different color just so I can see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this rectangle, and I'm going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Zigzag. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I hit smooth, not corner. Corner makes it zigzag, smooth makes it more like a wave. And I'm going to just adjust this so that it looks like a cute little kind of like a water line. And when it looks the way I want, I'm going to click OK. So this has a wave to it, but it's not actually expanded to the shape. You'll kind of see that the blue lines go kind of cut through the wave. So we need to go to Object, Expand Appearance, which means it releases the effect on the shape. There we go. And now you already know how to use the Pathfinder. Grab this little wave, hold down Shift, click the blue water we have, and we're going to hit the minus front button. Boom. And there we go. It gave us our little water. So now we got our water. All good. We know this is the area where we're putting our fish. So now let's add stuff in here. So I'm going to click on my blue water shape. And as when we made the fish lines on the fins, we're going to hit the draw inside kind of menu right here below our stroke and fill. We're now inside this shape. I'm going to start by creating the sand. And I do this the same way I make the water top. I kind of grab a big square, and I should probably change it to like a sand-ish color. There we go. Got a big square. If I click here, I got to double click to get inside my water workspace. I'm going to make this actually like black sand. Why not? That's how my real fish tank is, so we'll do that. I'm then going to go Effect, and I can apply zigzag again, or if you go to Effect, it'll show you what you've recently used. So I could just apply the exact same zigzag, or I could click on the zigzag to bring up the panel. I don't want it too crazy like that. That's not good. I just want a little bit. And I want it actually to look more like a slope. So like this is cool. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm going to click OK. And then same as when we went up here, we need to expand the effect onto the shape. So we're going to go Object, Expand Appearance. I can move this down, move it in position. Oh yeah, that's a good position. Sweet. So that's one of the things you have to do. We did the outer glass, inner glass, water line. We just added the sand. Now let's make a plant. Now we're still inside this water shape. And you know that because everything else is grayed out. If I wanted to go back, I can click up here where everything's are grayed out on this line. Just click back. If I needed to get back inside here to add more, I just click on this shape and double click to get again inside the water shape. So for plants, this is what I would do. First off, let's find a plant color. It's like a nice green. Ooh, go on like an olive green. There you go. And I'm going to set this as a stroke. Grab my pen tool. And to start off, I'm just going to make a line like that. A stroke. I'm going to click on this stroke and I'm going to increase the size of it. Perfect. Now, of course, this is not straight. This does not really look like a plant yet. So what I want to do is I want to find the width tool, which is W. I think we've used this before, but if not, this is the width tool. You click this, and if you go onto a line, you click and drag, you can actually change the thicknesses of certain points in that line. So I'm going to kind of just like make him a little wonky shaped because I'm trying to go for like seaweed-esque look. There we go. So that's okay, but that's way too straight. So I'm going to click on it and I'm actually going to apply zigzag again. So if I actually just hit apply zigzag, I just used what I already had pre-done, but I can also go back to the main panel and go apply new effect, and I can kind of adjust it the way I want. Perfect. So there's like a little plant, and if I click on it, I can just make copies of it. And I can always go back to effect and mess with zigzag. And actually the best way to do that is to go to the appearance panel. Appearance panel shows you what effects have been done to a shape. So I got some zigzags, probably have too many zigzags, but here you'll see I can make these different seaweed bits look different because that's what I want. I want them to look a little different. So I'm going to just make a few little seaweed guys. I can also grab my width tool and go back and change the width of certain areas if I wanted. I'm kind of getting a little wild here, but whatever. There we go. And I want these actually to be behind my sand. So I'm going to click on my black sand and I'm going to right click, arrange, bring to front. So now these are sitting behind the sand and I'm okay with this. Awesome. So now we need a house or we need some sort of other accessory. You can decide what it is. Could be a log, could be whatever. But what I do want us to think about is using the roughen tool. So let's say I'm making a house. So I just grabbed my rounded rectangle, made like a rounded rectangle shape, like right here, switch it inside. Maybe I kind of grab two of the anchor points and make these corners kind of a little rounded. You can do that. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a copy of this, make it a different color, make it a little smaller so that it's like a door or like a little opening. Awesome. Now, this is cute, but it's a little boring. Like it's not really a fun shape. So what I can do is I can add like little kind of coral-esque details. So I'm just creating more rounded shapes and I'm almost trying to make like a little chimney. And if I grab these guys by clicking one, holding shift and clicking the other and clicking the main house, I can grab my Pathfinder and join them. And I just would need to move them to the side and grab this background door and move this in front, arrange, bring to front. And I can, of course, grab my white arrow and click and adjust points I don't like or that are too sharp for my liking. If I hit minus, I can get rid of points that I don't like. So I might do that here because I want it to look a little more organic. means like natural. There we go. Okay. Still, I'm not loving this. So what we're going to do is, after I've added whatever little extra details I want, let me stretch this out a bit. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to click on the pink house that I've made, and I'm going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, Roughen. What this does is it automatically makes your shape or line a little kind of wonky, rough looking, which usually is kind of like, oh, I don't really want that. But when I'm making like a coral kind of house for a little fish, that works. So I would just adjust this the way you want it and click OK. And then same when we did the waves, if you want this effect to expand to the shape, we need to go Object, Expand Appearance. Sweet. And now I'm thinking I need to adjust the door a little bit because the door probably should kind of reflect what's going on there. Nice. And I'm okay having this sit in front, or I can click the black sand, right click, arrange, and bring the black sand in the front. Awesome. That's looking good. So next thing is bubbles, but I think I'll make that in a separate video. So you're doing great so far. Go ahead and switch to the next video to finish up making your aquarium.